Welcome, kindred spirits, to a place of positivity, passion, and purpose. Welcome, friends, to our video dedicated to Prevention of Terrorism Acts. Let's dive right in and uncover its wonders. The Prevention of Terrorism Acts were a series of acts of the Parliament of the United Kingdom from 1974 to 1989 that conferred emergency powers upon police forces where they suspected terrorism. The direct ancestor of the bill was the Prevention of Violence Temporary Provisions Act 1939, which was brought into law in response to an Irish Republican Army IRA campaign of violence under the S-Plan. The Prevention of Violence Act was allowed to expire in 1953 and was repealed in 1973 to be reintroduced under the Prevention of Terrorism Temporary Provisions Act 1974. In 2000, the acts were replaced with the more permanent Terrorism Act 2000, which contained many of their powers, and then the Prevention of Terrorism Act 2005. See also Terrorism Northern Ireland Act 2006. Let's now zoom in on powers contained in the Acts and uncover the hidden gems that lie within. Section 8 of the Prevention of Terrorism Temporary Provisions Act 1974 provided for temporary powers to examine of persons travelling between Northern Ireland and Great Britain, both within the UK and the Common Travel Area. Schedule 7 of the Terrorism Act 2000 provides for similar powers that remains in force. Brace yourself for an in-depth analysis as we navigate through censorship and its far-reaching implications. In 1980, the Panorama filmed the IRA on patrol in Carrickmore. The footage was seized by police under the Prevention of Terrorism Acts following an outcry in Parliament and the press. They were also used to convict Channel 4 and an independent production company over a dispatches report in 1991 under new powers in the 1989 revision. Now, let's shift our perspective and explore history of the acts through a fresh lens, unlocking new perspectives. The first act was enacted in 1974 following the IRA bombing campaigns of the early years. The act was introduced by Roy Jenkins, then Home Secretary, as a severe and emergency reaction to the Birmingham pub bombs. The apparent chronology was that there were pub bombings by the IRA in Birmingham on 21 November 1974. 21 people died and 184 were injured. There was a strong desire to respond to what was perceived as the greatest threat since the end of the Second World War. The conception of the bill was announced on 25 November, when the Home Secretary warned that the powers are draconian. In combination, they are unprecedented in peacetime. Parliament was supportive and had passed the bill by 29 November, virtually without amendment or dissent. The bill passed through the Commons on 28 and 29 November and passed through Lords on 29 November. In fact, much of the bill had been drafted in secrecy during the previous year, as shown in the only full-length television commentary on the legislation by Clive Walker. The Phillips Commission on Criminal Procedure, published 1981, had a significant impact on the subsequent 1984 legislation. It was rewritten in 1976, 1984 and again in 1989. But continued to stay as emergency temporary powers that had to be renewed each year. The first three acts all contained final date clauses beyond the annual renewal. This provision was not included in the 1989 Act. Let's now shift our focus to UK legislation and explore the ways in which it shapes our perspective. Category Acts of the Parliament of the United Kingdom. Category Acts of the Parliament of the United Kingdom concerning Northern Ireland. Category Terrorism Laws in the United Kingdom. Category Troubles Northern Ireland. Category Repealed United Kingdom Acts of Parliament. Category Censorship of Broadcasting in the United Kingdom. Remember, knowledge is power. Keep learning, growing, and exploring.